Hello, lovely people. So this one is a bit interesting. Hi, my name is Sam. This is Shadow Harvest. If for some reason you're new here, and today I want to talk about honoring ourselves and kind of putting ourselves on any sort of pedestal and knowing that we have power, agency, and should in a way also kind of worship ourselves to some extent. This is something I think that is, it's weird, right? Because we have this constant push in society at large to not put ourselves on a pedestal. And I'm definitely one of those people who was told when I was younger, and I had a lot of confidence all the way, mostly through my teen years even, that I should not put myself up there. I was too egotistical. I was too full of myself. I had an inflated sense of ego, yada, yada, yada. And while all those things can be troublesome, at the end of the day, I have, as I've gotten older, doubted myself more, trusted my gut less. That has not helped me. Instead, it has been much more of a detriment, if anything. And especially when it comes to my creativity and my art and the things I hold most close to me and my vulnerability, I always wanted to feature those more. So one of the ways that I'm doing that is that this is my work area. Here I film videos and whatnot, but it used to be my work desk for when I actually worked from home from another company. That is not the case no longer. Now I go into the office, so one of the things I've been trying to do so hard is to reclaim this space. And one of the ways I'm doing it is slowly but surely is putting my art onto the wall here. So first things first is I'm gonna see if I can flip you around real quick. Okay, so here is a portrait that I have posted on my Instagram if you follow me over there for it. It's a self-portrait, and one of the things that I'm definitely doing is I'm putting it smack dab in the freaking middle of the wall. Right freaking there, that is me, and trying to honor myself in that way and make sure that it is prominent and set. I then have this other piece, which I'm not that fond of, but I have this weird obsession a bit with Venus flytraps is definitely something that's appealing to me. And the idea of it being kind of like gold hidden behind like a stained glass situation, something very appealing about that as well. Up here is another sketch I've definitely posted up onto the wonderful Instagrams and whatnot. And I absolutely adore this one. I don't know how I got the smoke to look just right, and there's the black and the white and the blue perfection. This is something random I bought off of at a thrift store, and I'm going to actually remove the photo in this and instead put this in its place once I trim it down and fit it to the frame properly. This is actually a piece that I had done. It's all watercolor with some pencils and some inks, and it's a little short story I did called Making Muses, and kind of did like my slight emotional journey going through stuff and having different evolutions here from like fox, snake, crow, dragon. And this little dink dink is very much a muse that shows up in multiple other places. I actually have another version of her right here, which I also have already framed and I want to add to the wall, so that'll be added up there shortly. Another piece that I would like to add is this lovely. So if you've been on my channel for a while, you will have known that there is a skull that I allowed certain entities to enter into, and I worship it or work with it regularly within my craft and my practice. And so this is a sketch version of that. It's always fascinated me, line work and skulls. I absolutely love it, and having a thing that this can be taken away around with me without me worrying about me actually breaking the skull itself, and this keeps it much safer in general. I then also have this piece here, which is based off of a poem I recently got inspired off of. Well, I guess no, this sketch is not based off the poem. The poem is based off of this sketch. That now makes sense. I found this again while I was digging through my heart and thinking of things that I wanted to feature on the wall. And seeing this, I then added the black into the background, and I really just love the twisting of the snake. Yes, boo-boo. And this overall, I'm going to for sure add to the wall as we go here. And then another piece that absolutely I kind of adore that I found within my collection is this, which is an old cover version of something I was thinking from my webcomic, but I ended up not entirely loving it. I think I might use something similar to this later. The religious connotation, there is like a little thing of like religious trauma that happens within the comic, specifically with like the Catholic Church and stuff that goes on in there. But the crosses in the background of this, I was like, nah, the religion aspect isn't actually as heavy, it's more turns towards fears. So this is like an old version of it. But I love the colors, and it definitely gives me a lot of inspiration. It's a focus on my main character. Her name is Claire. So I really actually enjoy this, and it's printed on such a nice pretty paper that cost me a lot of money. So I'm thinking I'll probably also add it to the wall, probably something around here, I think. So yeah, very clearly this is still a work in progress. I've got a couple other frames and stuff that I picked up from the thrift store. Very easy for like $1, $2 here or there. If I have a frame that I'm not entirely too excited about, then I'll paint it gold or black or something else. But yeah, slowly but surely I am wanting to build this wall up entirely with my own art to, one, kind of create a weird magic warding wall of confidence. On the back of all these pieces I already have in frames, I have put in a sigil, which I have dedicated specifically to my confidence, and tying it specifically to my art where I always feel it's the most vulnerable, I think is very potent. Definitely got some things going on there. And so as I build up this wall and add more and more pieces to it, and there's just something for me that feels very much like closing off the spell with this sigil, like doing it on repetition, which with every single piece, it's the same sigil behind them all. And having them enclosed in a frame feels like that closing of a spell, a very like contained, amplified, but this is important. And so that is something I'm trying very hard to do. And I also want to reflect more so in my art. I'll do a whole little craft video about this and extending it forward, but something that kind of pulls me is what you end up drawing, what you end up putting on display, what you end up featuring in your life, I think is a very big key for the universe overall and what it wants, what it's hoping that you will come up with it. And when you are constantly drawing things or putting things in front of you that are not what you're looking for, maybe more representative of you wanting to purge or get rid of thoughts and feelings of that nature, it can resonate really well. But I'm trying my hardest to do the purging art, but that's not the art that's featured. The art that's featured instead is art that reminds me of peace, of power, of expression, that type of deal. And I want to continue to do that too with some of the art representations that I've done for my deities as well. There is something very interesting where I've featured it in multiple videos, is I have painted this little plaque with Persephone holding a pomegranate, but she's facing away from me. And I find that's interesting. I kind of want to, on the same plaque, blacken over it and redo the sketch so that instead she is facing towards me and possibly like offering her hand or something like that, showing that connection through my craft and my dedication to her, and opening up in that way, because that is very interesting how for a long time I have felt in a way that I've kind of had to put more and more effort into having a connection with my deities, which is fine, comes in waves and all that stuff. But I wonder if part of it is because I have subconsciously put it in that blockage or that disconnect because she is facing away from me, and I don't want to amplify that in my craft. I instead want to switch it up, and so I'm going to do that artistically and see if that works. But anyway, that is something where it's kind of like an art witchy feature wall, and this is one of the best things I think that is so fun, because to anyone else coming into my apartment, this will not look witchy at all. Maybe a little bit with some sketches here or there, but most of it is just like, oh cool, you're featuring your own art. That's so awesome and badass. This is a very simple way that I have put sigils and my magic all into my house, and it is amplified and will continue to grow. So anyway, that was today's video. Short, sweet, a little bit of a display thing, and hopefully I'll post this wall when it's kind of done and fully amped up and all that over on the Instagrams. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.